You don't give a about police brutality.
I don't.
You still don't?
Nope.
Even with it's a situation where a cop killed a kid, and then a day later, his dad went and killed the cop. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what would happen if something happened to, if a cop did something to somebody you love.
I ain't gonna do no coward shit like that.
How is that cowardly?
I ain't finna go kill no innocent person that didn't have nothing to do with my son being killed. It's an innocent person. I'm just finna go kill an innocent person. Don't know I'm finna do this to him. Where that mother my son? Where his family at? Say, find his name, go get his, no. But I ain't finna go get no innocent person that didn't have nothing to do with this, homie.
Was it?
And I hear what you're saying, and that's absolutely the right way to look at it. But once again, you've also never been in that man's situation where he snapped. I don't think it was a conscious choice. I think he had a storm going on in his brain, and here he is driving through an intersection, and to him, his perceived enemy was right in his face. I think he just snapped. I mean, I'm nobody. I can't put myself in that man's mind, but I could imagine being so distraught that you're just not thinking clearly. You know, that's a logical point of view. You know what I mean? That's what Charleston is saying is logical, coupled with a measure of vigilante revenge, which is also not the correct way to handle such a situation. But once again, you standing here calm, you chilling on the couch, everything is cool right now. It's very easy to say that or to think that way under these circumstances. But I don't think it excuses him. But if there's ever been a case of temporary insanity, I think this is it. My condolences to the officer who lost his life.
Force? I got it.
If it's the same police force.
That logic is so dumb. It was the same police force. I mean, they all guilty. Yo, these are the same people who support gang violence. Like, we're the same people with that mindset, or the same people who think gang violence is perfectly fine, all right? Because somebody is responsible for the death of somebody from your neighborhood in 1960. That's excuse for you to come and murder somebody in 2025 who had nothing to do with it, all right? Same thing here. Yo, this man was working, was directing traffic, bro. This man was nowhere near the incident with your kid, had nothing to do with it, was not around, was a complete innocent man. You murder him because he's part of the same police force. Imagine if the police start taking that approach, bro.
Yes. Very interesting thought, Flacco. If the police start taking that approach, well, you know, it's up. That's all I can say. War on the street.
Oh, Roddy Hinton did this? Okay. Everybody who lives in that community, y'all guilty too, bro. All right, we finna start planting drugs on y'all, bro. Hey, bro, we finna start harassing y'all. We finna start taking y'all to jail for no reason. Y'all will go to, bro, y'all will put on y'all marching boots, bro, and sing the spirituals, bro. Way down the wall. Yo, if that happened to y'all, y'all will be protesting for 30 days.
This is when Flacco shows his tetherness. I've been hearing a lot of people been telling me, don't mess with Flacco. I mess with Flacco because I think he's a good reporter. But he does have that little, that little tether spin. That little spin. I heard you with the wade in the water and all that. And listen, let me tell you something. People talk about how black people are so easily offended, but ashamed by nothing. I think that's the quote. Offended by everything, ashamed by nothing. It's because some stuff is embarrassing. I'm going to tell you why. In this particular instance, I heard this little, y'all be out there wade in the water. I hear what you're trying to say. I hear what you're trying to say. When things go wrong, niggas get to marching and all that other stuff like that. I think we, as a people, black people, we get so upset about it because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really is. Those tactics have not been effective since the 50s and the 60s. Think of when the last time something got changed because we marched, but we still doing them. So Flacco being from outside of the quote unquote FBA community, it's easy for him to dismiss that the ideology and the thing that make people go out and march in the streets and protest and all that other stuff because he doesn't understand our history. He ain't had to watch Martin Luther King getting bit up by dogs once a year, every year in school. I don't know if they still do that. I hope they don't. That was so traumatizing. We used to want to beat up our teachers. Martin Luther King was beat up by dogs and blown down the street with fire hoses. I didn't even know fire hose. That's how I learned how strong a fire hose was. Prior to that, I thought fire hoses was like a regular hose, only for fire. You know what I'm saying? But then they showed us the Martin Luther King documentary and Roots. They used to show us all kinds of crazy stuff in school every year. So, and the only thing that defeated any of that was marching. So he don't understand. He don't understand. He's like, why are they? What's going on? So in that point, I see what they're talking about when they say, "Don't listen to Flacco. He's a tether." Sometimes tethers don't understand. And okay, that's the end of my rant. I know y'all want to hear the video. I'm going back to it. Here we go.
30 nights and fasting for 90 days, bruh. But now y'all are applying those principles to the police force, and all of a sudden, the sin of one police officer now applies to all police officers. Can you imagine?
Like the wrath of God. And I'm not condoning what the father did. I'm not condoning that in one bit, way, shape, or form, or whatever. That's not cool whatsoever. I'm just saying that no one can be sure how their mind may react with the loss of a child. He was 18 years old. This man poured everything he had into this child only for him to reach maturity and this to happen. Regardless of the circumstances, regardless of whether or not the car was stolen. And I've heard a whole new spin on that too, that perhaps it was a rental car that was held too long or something like that, or a late car payment, something of that nature, which also does not call for a gun being pulled. Did he run? Yeah. That doesn't mean you can shoot someone in the back. That's not the rules. He wasn't in danger. I haven't seen the actual tape, so I'm going to reserve my judgment in that way. I'm just saying I can understand how someone can snap. You don't know. I've been in a situation. You ever been in a situation that you just felt your hand moving? You felt your body moving, and you on the inside like, no, don't do it. That's probably how I felt. And I'm not making jokes. I'm not making light of the loss of life. I'm just saying you can't speak so definitively about how you would respond if you're not in that situation. That's it. It's like what you going to do when they shooting. If you ain't never been shot at, ask a veteran. Ask a veteran with training. Sometimes even they crack. I'm sure they've seen it. I'm sure they've seen people stutter step. So you that lives a regular life every day, you go to work, get off and everything, and then they start shooting. How can you be sure how you'll react? Anyway, I went off the deep end, but here we go.
And if they applied that principles to black folks, can you imagine if they apply, hey, bro, if somebody in your family ever did something bad, y'all all got to get punished for it. Can you imagine how terrifying life would be for all of us, including myself?
This cop didn't have nothing to do with it. How you know he in agreement with it? He gonna go pick an innocent person and kill him. And we clap for that. Yeah, nigga.
No, I ain't clapping. Don't get it confused. I'm not clapping. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just understand.
Yeah, no, nigga, go get the person that you. If you done something to me, what I look like going to go do something to V and you done it? Nah, homie. No, that's some cow. That's a coward act, cowardly act. You don't want to hurt an innocent person, minding their mother. Don't know nothing about nothing and ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Maybe he went psyche, or
he ain't
maybe
win shit. No, he ain't win shit. He ain't win shit. A psychic person, nigga, they crazy. He don't hold his head over pride when he walk by them police.
But that's what you said you like.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But even if he snapped, we don't know what his current mental state is. He may feel vindicated. You know what I mean? Like the old man who shot Nino Brown at the end of damn New Jack City. Your soul is required now. Now to be fair, Nino did all the stuff, but you still don't have the right to take someone's life in that way. Here we go.
Bro, you said you said that in previous interviews. You like when people were in the courtroom. And they
I like that. But nigga, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm responding to what you saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he went crazy. A crazy person don't take pride like that, is what I'm saying.
Just the picture of Rodney holding his head high, acting like he's an actual activist in the courthouse, bro. Yo, this man is a cold-blooded murderer who murdered an innocent person that had nothing to do with nothing. But this man is walking around acting like he's Martin Luther King Jr., acting like he Malcolm X.
That's not how he acting. He's acting like he snapped and he don't care. He don't care. That's what that face say. I'll take the time. I'm standing up and I don't care. Yes, I did it. That's crazy. It's a terrible. He snapped. That's a guy who snapped. And I'm not on his side. Definitely not. I'm just to think about it is to put myself in the situation is so crazy. I'm not saying I would do that. You know what I mean? I don't know what I would do. Hopefully I'd be able to maintain my sense of reality and make a better decision than this brother made.
Acting like he's doing something for the cause. And here's the thing. Black folks is gonna make him Malcolm X. Like, he's gonna be a martyrer.
I ain't saying that ain't the shit. That's what you're supposed to do, nigga. But you saying, well, maybe nigga ain't went crazy. That was a choice. And he taking pride in it. Crazy people don't do that.
I've seen people crying online too that the death penalty is too harsh. I don't think it's too harsh, bro. I feel like the death penalty should be used for situations where there's like a 99.9, 100% certainty that this person did it. This is 100% certainty, bro. All right. He is prideful for doing it. He is confident in doing it. He's happy about doing it. He sees this as vengeance for his son, which, okay. And I also believe, bro, the support of Rodney Hinton is also rooted in trauma, bro. A lot of our communities have been exploited, have been damaged, have been taken advantage of, have been attacked by police officers. Police officers, the very few who aren't doing a great job, who don't honor their oath, they're the reasons why a lot of people is rooting for this. It's kind of like when a dude killed like the pharmacy owner or the owner of the largest healthcare company, and the world was celebrating because the world has trauma due to these healthcare companies effing everybody over. But that don't mean an innocent man deserves to die. Now, he actually...
I don't know how I feel about that sentence he just said, that little statement. I personally feel that police brutality and other atrocities committed towards black people are intentionally inflated to get a emotional response out of black people. And that doesn't mean that I believe that we are not targeted by the police in some instances. What it's saying is, when it does happen, the world makes sure we see it in order to continue the narrative that we already have going on in our minds. To reinforce that. Make sure they see this. Make sure they see what done happened. Make sure you know what I'm saying? It's to sort of bring us back, to remind us the Klan might bust in at any moment. You know what I mean? And although those instances are rare in the scope of overall unalivings, they're always so much more visible. You understand what I'm saying? If the cops delete a person in the same city, or if a white cop deletes a person, it'll get 10 times more coverage than a black on black crime if it's 10 times as many crimes. You understand what I'm saying? Like 10 black on black shootings are not going to get the same coverage as one white on black shooting. All right, here we go.
White about Carmelo Anthony, and Charleston White had a harsher stance on Carmelo Anthony. Here's what Charleston White had to say
About the Carmelo Anthony situation with the kid and the knife. I seen you speak on that.
He going to jail.
You were basically saying that.
So there's another kid that killed somebody at school due to bullying. They didn't find him with murder. They found him with like involuntary manslaughter and got like 10 or 12 years. He's going to get anywhere from that range. He's going to get anywhere from that range. It's two things. There's a police documented statement asking the police, can I plead self-defense? He took a weapon to a school event. There's no way you can justify that. There's no way you can justify that.
It depends on if you is a knife inherently a weapon. One might argue it's a tool. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying.
Like pepper spray, just in case something happens. I can bring something just in case something happens.
Not to a school event. I cannot bring pepper spray through security at the TSA. I cannot bring a gun to a bar where they sells alcohol.
I've heard this a lot from a lot of people, but I don't think people understand. Like, that really doesn't matter in a self-defense case, to be honest. If the courts decide or if the police officers believe that Carmelo Anthony was faced with two choices to either die or to kill, and he chose to kill, then he will be home right now. Like, if they believe it was a real self-defense case or it was a real self-defense situation where he had no other choice but to lay down and die or fight, then it don't matter if that knife was unauthorized. If he used it to save his life, he should be coming home. But, the police officers believe it wasn't self-defense. The courts, as of now, believe that there's not enough for self-defense. So
I hear your point.
He's not home. But yeah, I just heard a few people bring up like he brought the knife unauthorized. That don't matter in a self-defense case at all.
It's the 50-50 law rule.
That's true, because you can have a self-defense body and beat the body but still get the gun charge. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter why you had a gun. You know what I mean? You going matter of fact, you won't get handled for that. But that has nothing to do with this part of the crime. Here we go.
School law states, school rules and regulations says you cannot have no weapons. Me, you, the kid, the parent, the coach at any school event. You have to go through a metal detector. So
if that's true, then he was wrong. But once again, how big was the knife?
Have it at the school. You can't have it at the dance. You can't have it at the football game.
Not a Swiss Army. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I have no idea what it looked like. I'm imagining it probably wasn't. But I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
You can't have it at another school district. You can't have it out of town at a school event. You can't have it at the debate thing. You can't have no weapons, homie. That's where he went wrong at.
So you're blaming him for not going to his parents. His parents should have went to the school.
He had a stay-at-home mama. He got a daddy at work. He got a stay-at-home mom. Stay-at-home mom supposed to be in everybody's business. Stay-at-home mom supposed to be in everybody's business. If this is such a good kid, make straight A's and straight B's, because I got a nephew who go to school with him. So if he's such a good kid, man, these guys at school is messing with me. Why not report it? Why stab somebody and take a life? And then if you really defending yourself, why flee the scene and get rid of the weapon, showing criminal intent?
I'm not read up enough on the Carmelo Anthony situation to even tell you if he ran away and stashed a knife away, because I don't know that.
Allegedly, I've heard those reportings, and that he came back around and asked whether or not he was okay when he was arrested. That's what they say, allegedly.
And to see a court case play out. Probably when the court case come, I'll probably do my deep dive on the situation, man. But now, what I will say, though, I do think is a tad bit hypocritical on Charleston's White behalf, because Charleston White is a supporter of George Zimmerman. Charleston White believed that George Zimmerman acted in self-defense and that George Zimmerman is innocent. So if he believes that George Zimmerman is innocent, then I don't understand how he won't believe Carmelo Anthony is innocent. Now,
Right. And that's some coon stuff. If you're gonna go that way, because the Zimmerman case, that's the one that once again, but that was one guy. And we all know what happened at that. They made sure that every black American knew about this. And this has been going on ever since we've been here.